Hey,
Yes, it worked. Oh my
yes,
god.
it did work this time. I'm so sorry.
No,
Technical
it's
issue.
okay. Well, it's working now. Yay.
Yes,
And oh my
I'm
gosh,
happy.
I can't believe you're Morocco. How's Morocco?
Yes, it's good. Thank you. It's actually really good and very, very relaxing.
Oh, I can
So I'm
imagine.
happy. What
I
about
can
you?
imagine. Yeah, it's been so lush being at home. I
When
love
did you
being at
arrive?
home. Hmm?
When did you arrive in Iran?
3 months ago.
Oh wow. Okay, so you've probably enjoyed summer there.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be going back soon, but I don't really want to.
Just stay
So
too cold in England.
and everything's online. Like all my courses and everything's online. So I'm just like,
Oops, I might not go back.
okay. I mean, there's a lot of because most of my work is about the Middle East, so it's good to be somewhere where the thing you talk about, the thing you create about is surrounding you. You know.
That's true. You're physically close to it, to your work.
Literally, like sometimes me and my cousin will be walking down the street, and like there'll be like trees like in front of us, and I'll just touch the trees, and I'll just be like, "So what are you doing?" I'm just like, "I just feel at home. I
That's
feel
so
like you
cute.
talk to me."
But are you in Tehran or are you in another city?
No, I'm in Esfahan.
Oh yes, you said yes.
So
Yes.
it's a bit lower down. It's like a 3 hour drive, but so there's this place near Esfahan. It's called Shine Shah, and my mother's family moved to Shine Shah after the Iran and Iraq war. So like all the southern Iranian like Abadanis, Ahwazi people moved to Shine Shah. So there's a lot of southern people here. So it doesn't really feel like Isfahan. It kind of feels like you're in the south because so
Yes,
many
I
southern
know
people
what
are
you
here.
mean. Can still feel it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually nice.
it
So
is,
you
and
don't know when
you
you're
can
going back.
feel the difference. I'm not trying to speak bad about Isfahani people, but southern people are a bit more warmer. Like that's how I feel. I think
Oh,
some
in that
Isfahani people are
sense,
gonna jump on
okay.
and be like, "What are you saying?"
But already they're generally warm, so that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Imagining someone warmer.
Oh, I love
Um,
it. I don't want to leave. How long are you going to be in Morocco for?
I'm going back to England on the 11th because I'm starting uni on the 28th. Can't be asked.
Is it online or are you
No,
do
the
you have
semester it's online, but I think next semester I'll have face-to-face lectures because I have some clinic work. What about you? Is it all the whole year online?
it's kind of difficult because I have practical work, so I was usually in the studio creating, just doing stuff and making physical artwork. Like I don't know
Yes.
how I'm going to be able to show that online. Like I'm probably gonna have to like take some pictures, write some words about my work, but it's going to be difficult because I was so used to interacting with my tutors because of
Yeah. It's different when you
because
talk to them.
it was so face to face. Like
Yes.
we only had 2 essays a year. Like that's how it was.
Yeah. I mean, we can't do anything about it for now. We can just wait, to be honest. I don't feel like there is any solution. But yes, I'm excited for the live. Like,
I
first, before we
know,
start, I
me
want to say thank you
too.
so much for accepting doing a live.
Thank
It's
you for
good.
having
It's an honor.
me.
Yes. So there are going to be 5 different sections throughout the live. And it's going to be home, then culture, then identity, then diaspora, and then we're going to end talking about third culture. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions during the live. You don't have to answer all of them if you don't want to, obviously. And yes, I'm excited. Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk about home. Can you define home? And can you explain to us what does home means to you?
Home? That's a complicated question. I feel like I've never had one home, and I still to this day don't know if I have a home. I think I was speaking to my mum before I left about, feeling like you belong in 2 places, but I think I feel differently towards most, I think, Iranians or Middle Easterns living in the West or the UK. I think most of them feel like they really can't connect with either, but I really connect with my Iranian side. but at the same time, it's not somewhere I can be and spend most of my time, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like, even though I feel more connected here, going between two places all the time, and having, like, in England, I have my university, I have my mum and dad, I have, you know, my job, I have those things, but here I have family, I have history, I have, like, this is me, like, my country is me, like, there's no other.
Yes, of course.
Home, no, I don't know how to say it, but like, home is nowhere for me, to be honest. And I think the meaning of home is somewhere you want to be 24/7. And I guess this is where I want to be 24/7, but at the same time, it's not a practical thing to say.
Okay, so you don't feel comfortable about living in Iran. You feel more comfortable living in the UK, sorry. But at the same time, you feel more at home in Iran, but you think that there is no specific geographical space or place where you feel more at home than another, basically.
I mean, I love my home. Like, Shine Chat is somewhere I'm just like I love to be in, like, just Iran in general.
Yes.
But it's somewhere that I know I can't grow.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Do you mean mentally? Do you mean mentally growing, or are you talking
not
about
mentally? I feel like with work.
Okay.
And
yes.
stuff. And knowing that I spent 15 years adapting to Western culture, and then, you know, having to kind of tone that down is kind of hard. So it's kind of like both sides, I guess I have to call home, but if it was my choice, I would have stayed in one place, because I was telling my friend, I was like, our parents took us from one place to another place all the time, so we never really knew like what home was. I think home is where you feel like yourself. I feel like that's the definition of home, and I feel like finding yourself is a journey, so I don't really know if you call the journey home, if you want to call a place home, but I don't know. It's so complicated. I would love to say, from the bottom of my heart, I would love to say Iran is my home. I really do.
Yes.
And I'm obsessed with it. I love it. Like, I'll pick it over England any day, or the West any day. But it's hard to say Iran is my home, because I spent so much time adapting to another place that it is really hard to say that one place is my home.
So have you always felt at home in Iran, or do you think it has changed over time? So when you were younger, maybe you felt more at home in England, and now that you've passed, you know, teenager times, you feel more connected to your Iranian culture as well?
I feel like when I was in Iran, when I was younger, I never really, because my surroundings were so, like, filled with so many people, my family was like literally overflowing. Like, I have family members here. Like, you never really think about like finding other people.
Yes.
Or finding somewhere else to be. And because I was filled with so much family and friends, I never really wanted to be anywhere else. So when I was like, if they took me, so when they took me and they took me to the West, it was kind of like, whoa.
So different.
And I feel like I tried adapting from the age of 10 to like 17. Like, I spent a good 7 years of my life trying to be someone I wasn't. And like, even now when I hear myself speaking in like this British accent, I'm just like, wow, how hard did I work on this accent? Like, I remember me and my brother had a competition. We had a competition to see who could get rid of the Persian accent first.
Oh my God.
Like, that's when we were kids.
Oh wow, but so because you grew up in England, obviously, right? So you were speaking in English at school and in Farsi at home, I guess? With your parents. Okay.
Yes. We never really stopped speaking Farsi at home, because my mum always wanted us to speak Farsi. She was like, that's your mother tongue, you should always speak it. And we stuck by it, and still to this day, my brother's Farsi isn't as well as mine, but he really does speak Farsi at home. He doesn't, because my mum doesn't allow us to kind of If we start speaking English, it's like
Okay.
butchering.
Yes, got it. Yes, yes. Like you want to stay connected to
Yeah.
Iran with the language. That's actually really
Yeah, because my mum is very connected to here as well. I mean, me and my mum, we love Iran just because it is us. We are Iran, but you know, my dad and my brother are different. Um,
hello
hello.
everyone.
I've just seen people. Um, my nephew's here. Yeah. So me and my mum are very connected. But yeah, it's different. I feel like it's the experiences that have changed us. But me and my mum have always been so obsessed with our family and so obsessed with and so obsessed with our culture and our roots that we weren't really we weren't ready to give that up,
Yes,
so
of
that's
course.
why I'm here, because
Yes, talking
my
about it.
family's here, like
Exactly.
me and my friend were talking about this. We're like, when we're away from home, we want to like touch the sand or like the mountains or
Yes.
like the dirt from our land. Like we just want to feel it. And I think we have a word we say in Iran, blood brings blood type of thing. It's like it pulls you.
Okay.
If that
Okay,
makes
yes,
sense. I
because
don't
it
know if
makes
it makes sense in English,
makes
but
sense. It does.
yeah, it's something that no matter, you can't get rid of it. So I don't think there's any way for me to kind of detach myself from Iran. But yeah.
Well, yes, exactly. And talking about culture, can
Mm-hmm.
you define your culture and can you give also a few examples of your culture?
How do I define my culture?
If you
My
can.
culture is color. Color. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. My culture is colorful, very colorful. It's filled with so much history. Like I always say, and I think it's been a good couple of years I've been looking into the history of Iran, and my DNA and my roots. I am Iranian, however,
Yes.
my roots do go back to the rest of the Middle East, to Africa. So it is kind of like I can't forget those either. So it's important to keep that in mind. And because Iran is filled with so much culture and so many different people, everywhere you go is different. So like I said, like I'm in Isfahan right now, but because I'm in Shahinshah, you feel the difference between Isfahan and Shahinshah.
As you
Because
said.
Shahinshah is filled with so many southern Iranians, it kind of feels different to when you go into central Isfahan. So my culture is very different. Like Iran is like one beautiful, amazing country. However, it's different because each place in Iran is different in its amazing way, in the best way possible. Like I always say, like I'm obsessed with the cone trees in Isfahan and the palm trees of Abadan, which my mum's from the south. So um, I would define Iranian culture as colorful and filled with so many different other cultures
Yes,
that
it's very
yeah,
intersectional, I'd say.
yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know how to
It's
answer your
good.
question, but it is very, very colorful.
It's positive, obviously.
Very,
And
yes.
would you consider that your culture is, a separate thing from your home? Or do you think, I guess sometimes it kind of changes over time, I guess, for some people.
Yeah.
But do you think for you, your home and your culture are linked thing? Or do you think they're more, just two separated things in your head, obviously, I mean, or how you talk about it in general?
I think in my ideal world, Iran is my home and my culture is in Iran.
Of course.
However, knowing that I've grown up in the West and I've adapted to a different culture, and ethnic minorities have created their own little culture in London, it's kind of like you've adapted to another culture that people like you who have moved to the West for opportunities have created for themselves, because obviously sometimes opportunities aren't given to you from English
Other
people,
places, yes.
from white people. So it's kind of like you have to create those yourselves. And I feel like being in that community has really opened my eye to a new culture,
Yeah.
and being able to relate to my best friend and being able to being able to kind of relate to friends and so your surroundings, especially in London. I guess home is two separate places, and there's two separate cultures.
Yes, two separate cultures.
So I feel like Iran has its own culture and its own place for me, and then London has its own place and its own culture for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So two separated things in general.
Literally, yeah.
So because of that, how do you usually navigate, cultural differences? Do you do it even, or what do you think about that, navigating
Yes,
between different cultures?
this is super Iranian.
Yes, so nice. The Persian.
What was the question?
So do you navigate cultural differences, and if yes, how do you do it?
With a lot of pain and with a lot of confusion. Like one of my friends, when we first met, he was just like, oh, I thought you were super Iranian when you first met because you were only speaking Iranian. And then I started speaking English, and he was like, whoa, wait, you're from London.
Wait, what does he mean by super Iranian? Like traditional?
Like I was speaking super Farsi. Like usually when like my age come here or younger than me, like my brother, he can't, if he speaks Farsi, he's not from here. But if I speak it, I can kind of pull it off.
Oh, okay.
In a way.
Accent,
so it's like when I'm in the UK and when I'm in the UK and I'm speaking to people that kind of have my brother's vibe, they're kind of like, wait, you're super French. But then when I start speaking English, it's like, wait, what? What's going on? I am literally two separate people, and I think that this situation sometimes really messes me up in a way. I'm like, who am I? Like, why do I sound so Iranian and so English? Like, what is this? It's so weird for me, but I guess but I'm thankful because I have friends here that have been in the same situation as me. Two of my really close friends that I grew up with in Iran, they had the same situation. They went to like America and then Iran, so they sound like me, probably more Iranian than me, and more like American, but we are the same. So it's nice to have someone that understands you, but at the same time it is really hard being two separate people, like switching it off and on. So I do get tired, but that's life.
you can't not deal with it, and I feel that sometimes with different languages your personality changes as well. I don't know how to
explain it,
but it's
the
weird.
personality switch. Like I am in Iran, like I am super, like, I wouldn't say confident. I guess I am confident, but like I'm very loud when I'm in Iran.
Okay. Yes.
But
with your family or with people in general?
Even if I'm down the street and someone nearly hits me with the car, I'll literally like hit the car and start swearing. But in the UK, I'll be like, oh my gosh, no, what are you doing? Because everyone's nice as well.
Yes, it's very normal to do that.
To ignore, and in the UK, they kind of ignore things like, oh, they just want to get rid of things. I don't know. Like they just want to move.
I got you.
But here it's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna come like to your house. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. They fight with you like they've known you for 20 years. So it's different. It's different.
That's true. I mean, in the MENA region, I feel like it's like this in general. We're very, straightforward when we don't like something as well. Not just which is good. There is no bad or good thing, about any culture. But yes, I'd say I really like this side of, our culture, because we're very straightforward. We're very like welcoming, and we don't care about anyone. We just want to be with our family and friends. So
100%. That's literally how it is.
Literally. So do you have any favorite and least favorite elements about your cultures? Two cultures.
About the UK culture, I don't really like how, like in Iran, I don't know if this is good. Sometimes it's not good. In Iran, we have this thing called Taro. So it's kind of, Taro is kind of like, oh, I'll do it. No, don't pay. I'll pay.
Yes.
No. It's an Arab culture as well. No. Like, no, I won't let you go home alone. I'll take you. I'll drive you to the next town and I'll drive back. Like, that's how it is.
It's very normal for us. Yes.
It's very warming, even though you don't want that person to look after you in that way, because, at the end of the day, they're working hard to do that. In the UK, there's no such thing like that. Like, there's no such thing as, oh my gosh, let me help you. Even if it's your closest friend, no one's going to be like, oh, let me pay, or let me drive you home, like, or take you to the next town, or like let me, I don't know, let me look after your kids, let me like it. There is stuff like that in the UK, but it's not as warm. Like here, like,
Yes.
yeah, do you get what I mean? Like the warmness of there's limits. For example, one of my friends, she came from Iran, and she came to England, and she met this guy, and she was like this. The guy was so different to Iranian men because they wouldn't really pay for everything. They were very like everyone pays for themselves, half, or like. But in Iran, there's no such thing like that.
I think in England it's very, and in the Western world in general, actually,
Yeah.
apart from Canada, it's very individualistic. But in the MENA region and just in the East in general, we're very welcoming, but we're very generous as well. We really want to help people, but it's
100%.
It's not just to be polite, you know. It's true. Like we really want to help others because we really think that everyone is our brothers and sisters as well.
Literally, yeah.
You know. I
Yeah.
really miss that as well when I'm in England.
I
I'm
know.
not gonna lie. It's so
like everyone is very like, I love when I go out with my Arab friends or my Middle Eastern friends. Like we're always fighting to pay of the bill.
Oh my God. This is all the time, even for I don't know, coffee or like
yeah, literally. But sometimes when we're not like, when we're broke, we're like, listen, I'm broke, so I'm gonna put the culture aside tonight and like
tonight, no.
But when we do have the money, and even when we don't have it, we're always pushing to do more for the other person.
That's true. And money, and also, as you said earlier, helping people, you know, with kids, for example. I feel like it's with small things as well. For example, I think you have the same in Iran. You know, like in Morocco, you can't really see old people walking alone. Like there are always people helping them, and you know, helping them with bags, helping them with driving and everything else. It's not common in England. In England, I always see like old people walking alone in supermarkets, and I don't know, it just makes me sad.
And what I love is that everyone kind of knows each other in a way. So I feel like that's nice as well.
It is.
But like that's what I'm saying. Even when you don't know each other, you kind of fight in the street with each other, like you've known each other for 20 years. But in the UK, if something comes up, people just kind of like treat you like nothing's happened. They just want the situation to end quickly. They want nothing to do with you.
Yes, and they're very scared.
Yeah, it's very cold. That's why I said the West is cold.
Very, very cold. Very, very cold.
It's cold, and the warmness of the Middle East does not exist in the West. That's why I like the Middle East more, because it's warm. Home is where it's warm. Oh, okay, I think I answered your question. Home is where it's warm.
Okay, I take this in note. Good one. Let's talk about identity and self. Okay. Have you ever experienced, you know, difficulties finding yourself when you were a teen, or even maybe now? I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. In Iran, I didn't have that problem because at the age of 9, 10, my parents took me to the UK, and I was I was shy, but I was very confident. Like I knew who I was. And then when you have to tell a 10-year-old that you have to start again and find a new identity because the identity you had that you can't carry here was very hard. So starting from zero to trying to teach myself how to be British and how to fit in was very hard, because I found friends that weren't really beneficial for my mental health. I did that from the age. I had such bad friends. I don't know why I did this to myself.
Oh my God.
Like I had friends that didn't have a positive influence on me.
How old were you at
the age of?
How old were you when it happened?
Well, it was from the age of 14 to the age of 19. Like I'm 22 now. Yeah, I'm 22 now, but yeah, you find yourself when you stop trying to find yourself in others. And I feel like that's what I was trying to do a lot in the UK, because I was so lost and I was trying to, like put down my own self, I guess my Iranian self. But I'm thankful to have the right people around me. That, like, my best friend adores Iranian culture. So she's always like so positive, and she's always so pro Iran, and she's so amazing with my family and myself. And like, I've being able to kind of connect with more of my Middle Eastern friends, and my friends from ethnic minorities has really helped me kind of, we learn from each other how to adapt, because at the end of the day, we all have similar journeys. We all left our homes to be somewhere else. So having friends like that, and being with my mum and dad and my brother more, and my godmother and my aunties more, my mum's friends, it kind of reminds me of who I am. And I feel like learning more about my culture when I'm in England, and kind of spending time watching Iranian series, making my room look more Iranian,
with the colors
my
and the decor.
family more, finding more Iranian friends, doing more Iranian work, video, art, whatever it is. I think connecting with people on the internet, especially who have the same kind of diaspora as me, has really helped me kind of understand myself more and understand others more, and how other Iranians deal with this,
Of course,
being
with this kind of.
between two places.
So because of that, how do you think your culture informs your identity now?
How does my culture inform my identity? It informs it a lot, because because I guess that's the base of it. Like, if I didn't have my culture, I don't think my identity would be fully built. I mean, it's not fully built now, but the culture is a big part of my but I forgot what the question was asking, sorry.
No, don't worry. How do you think your culture, so your Iranian culture and your British culture actually, informs your identity? So your personality, kind of, or who you are.
How do they inform it?
Yes.
I don't really know. I guess it's the warmness of my culture that builds my identity to be, open and helpful and stuff, and to be kind. But it's also my, I guess the cold culture of the UK that kind of tells me to think practically about things, and don't be too nice, don't be too this. Some people don't know your worth, so it's not, don't give them your all until you know the person. I guess both sides have really influenced me, but because both sides have a say in my identity, it's kind of like, wait, do I take parts from this, or do I take parts from that? How much do I take from the UK? How much do I take from Iran? So that's been interesting, but they both inform my identity a lot. But I prefer the Iranian side to inform it more. But
that's kind of, taking the best of both worlds. You have two words, and you take all the positive aspect of the Persian culture, as you said, the word, for example, and then from the British side, you take, the whole morality, kind of, when you make a decision. That's really interesting, actually, because
I mean, I would never. I don't know if the West has a culture. Like, if we're thinking like Middle Eastern, Africa, and Asia, I don't know if they have that kind of culture that the rest of the world has, because everything they have is basically taken from every other country. So
I'd say yes. I'd say yes.
So, but I kind of, when I say British culture, I kind of look more to what my friends do, and what my friends deal with, and what my journey in the UK does, and how I deal with things, and like speaking up at my university about respect for cultural artwork and stuff, has taught me to stand up for what I believe in. But also, being Iranian has taught me to have patience, I guess, in a way, for people that might misunderstand me. So it's kind of like my experiences in both places have kind of built my identity as well. So I'm somewhere in between, confident but shy at the same time. But I don't know. It's a mixture. My personality has definitely been confusing, but we'll see where we go.
Yes. So Thank you for answering the questions. Now we're just going to move on to the fourth part, which is about diaspora. How would you define diaspora, and do you think it has ever affected you?
How would I define diaspora?
Yes.
Diaspora is something that punches you and hugs you at the same time.
Okay, why?
I think like diaspora isn't, being, I think the actual meaning of diaspora is being somewhere, but knowing you're from somewhere else.
Yes, exactly.
So I guess being in the UK, kind of, it makes me feel pain when I think about my diaspora, and when I think about why has time done this, and drawn me away from my home, and why do I need to even consider myself as a part of this diaspora of being away from home. But when I'm here, it doesn't bother me as much. Sometimes I think it's beautiful because I can create art off of it, but at the same time, it's cold and warm at the same time. This whole feeling of diaspora, it's something that kind of motivates you to create and put words and pictures or images for your feelings, but at the same time it's hard to deal with, because we are all away from home and it's not the best feeling. But yeah.
It's not the best feeling, but it's for the best. I mean, for our best in terms of opportunities, as you said, and everything else. If you don't mind me asking, has anyone made you ever, feel bad about this? Talk to you about it in a jokey way, but actually not joking.
Feel bad about being
like
away.
Diaspora, yes, being away from home, and think like, haha, no, it's better there or something like that, in a jokey way, but it wasn't really, funny.
Oh, for like on this side making fun of me, or the UK side?
In the UK.
Oh, for the UK, saying like, oh, you're from somewhere else,
yes.
Like you don't belong here.
Trying to be funny, but it's not really funny,
Yeah, I think I've had a lot of discrimination and just not nice words. I think more in high school than anywhere
not
else.
now. Yes.
No, not now. I wouldn't even allow it now. They would get punched in the face if they did that now. And I think the people I surround myself with, I think, I don't live in a town in the UK where I'm, I have to deal with that. But at the same time, in university, I do have to deal with certain, people that don't understand things.
Okay.
For example,
okay.
So for example, I made an artwork about the MENA region, but I drew more female figures wearing clothes that had political statements on them. So it had Free Palestine, free political prisoners in Morocco, pray for Algeria, no war on Iran, pray for the revolutionary people of Lebanon. I put I love that image. It's actually on my Instagram as well. But
I think I saw it. It's really
it's a big piece. I printed it out as well, and I put it, and then I put roses, yellow and white roses on the floor with those political statements like Free Palestine, pray for the people of Yemen, like on the floor, no war on Iran. And someone said to me, "Oh, am I supposed to feel bad now? Why should you feel bad? Like, what is this supposed to do?" Like, it's very. Some people are very insensitive.
They don't know that the first thing to make a change is to actually talk about it. They
imagine I going to art school. You really expect people to be more sensitive about things, but that's something I've dealt with. I think being in spaces where people have taken advantage of my culture so they can add it to their
their art, kind of.
No, so I've worked with some companies that just use me for my name and for my culture and for and there was a lack of respect, there was a lack of help and stuff. So these feelings of having people disrespect you in a soft way, I would put it, when people kind of I think that gets on my nerves more than someone actually coming up to me and swearing at me and being racist.
Yeah, so when you were younger, it was more direct, as you said. It was more, explicit and literally joking about it. But now that you grew up, it has been, presented in different aspects of your life. So your work and your activity.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't bother me. Sometimes I just laugh. I'm just like, okay. I remember one time I was at my friend's house, and their dishwasher stopped working, and then this old white lady came in to help, and then my friend, she's from Lebanon, but she's very white, so you wouldn't kind of guess that.
Okay. Like
yeah,
she passes
she's
as white.
Lebanese. Yeah. So I was around her house, and I even here they kind of make fun of me for being dark for an Iranian woman.
Wait, who
which
was
is quite strange.
Your friend or
just like not as joke, but in my family, like I'm darker than most people because of my dad, and just in general, like being lighter in Iran is something men go for, or like families want in their family and stuff. So being like a brown girl, we're both brown, but obviously she comes off as, a light girl. So when this woman came in, she sat and she was like, oh my gosh, the last person that was in this house was Indian, and they cooked food that smelled all the time. And then she looked at me and she said, no offense. And I said, what? First of all, Indian food is amazing. Second of all, I'm not Indian, but okay. Like, it's that sort of weird type of discrimination that you're just like,
I'm so sorry. I know it's so bad, but I'm not even surprised. Like, people are so stupid. Like, literally.
Oh my God. It's a strange space to be in. But I feel like I get really frustrated at discrimination that is kind of tried to be covered up. And when they try to make you feel stupid, like, oh, I'm not the problem. Oh, I'm sorry you feel like that. I didn't know you felt like, you're trying to be like, oh, but we do this, but we do that. I hate stuff like that.
And they act like they're innocent, but everyone is guilty. I'm so sorry, but we're all guilty. Like, even us, we talk about it and stuff. But it's not enough, that's what I'm saying. Like, no one can say I'm not guilty. Like, especially our generation, we have to make a change ASAP, because that is so bad. Like, this is so bad.
100%.
No, that's just really, really bad. Like, I'm so sorry that this happened.
I laughed afterwards. I was like, wow.
Of course, now we're joking about it, But at that moment, I'm sure you were just like, oh my God. Like, what?
Literally.
No, that's too bad. So we're just going to move on to the last section, which is about third culture. So would you say that you have a third culture?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I think being in the UK was kind of my third culture, I guess.
Okay.
Just because it wasn't my parents' culture. Like, both my parents are Iranian, and I was made to adapt from the age of 10 to another culture. And being in Iran, and knowing that, there's so many other different cultures in Iran that make up this country, you kind of learn to incorporate all the warmness of different parts of Iran. So everything's different. When you go to like the north, it's different. When you go to the south, it's central, whatever. But you've learned to see it all as one thing. So going to somewhere where it's completely different, both your parents are not from there, and you have to learn. And when you're at the age of 10 and you can't really spell, and you have to help your parents send an email off, I guess I would consider, is it right? Is that what it means? Third culture is like somewhere where your parents aren't from there and you've grown up as a child, right?
Yes, exactly.
So yeah,
really
I guess
good explanation of yours.
Yeah, so the UK, I guess.
No, that's a good explanation. So how has it merged? This is the last question. How has it merged your British culture?
Merged it with what? With my Iranian culture?
I think just with yourself in general. Was it when you moved in there, and then talking to other people? Like, how did it really started, I'd like to say.
So how did my third culture start, you know, merging with my personality? Is that
With
what
your
you're trying to say?
personality, yes.
Well, I guess it started when I was at the age, I think when I was like 17, it merged a lot, because I was like learning. I think I feel like I mastered the Western way at the age of 17.
That's
So I felt that's when it merged, but at the same time, that's when I was very confused and I let the wrong people in because I was trying to be something I wasn't. It's such a complicated space to be in because you really do feel like two people. And I have friends that do feel the same, but you just have to learn to live with it. I hope one day we just forget, but we can't really. Like I spent 15 years learning to be another person.
it's a long time.
So I don't know how to get rid of it. I wish I could just say I was like, I'm Iranian, I've been nowhere but Iran, I wish I had a fresh accent. But that's the way life is, and I know that if I was here I would want to be somewhere else.
Okay, so it has started quite late because you're 22 and it started when you were 17. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know what aspect of the culture you're talking about. I think since at the age of 10 till now I've been, you know, in the West. So it's been merging, it started merging, and it's had its own journey. But I don't know where to go with this question, to be honest.
No, don't worry. It was just the last question about third culture, so don't worry.
I'm trying to think. I've looked up third culture. I'm reading right now.
Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. I think I have something else to add. When being at the age of 9, so when I was in Iran, imagine age of 9, you've fully developed how to write, how to read, how to communicate with your family, and then you take that 9-year-old, you put them in a different country, and you say, okay, you have to learn how to spell again. You have to learn how to read. I could not write. I couldn't spell. I couldn't write. At the age of 10, all my friends were writing. I had to go to second classes to learn my ABCDs.
So do you think it would have been a different story if you would have maybe in another life come earlier to England? So maybe at like 4 or 5?
I just wish I never had to come to England. Like I wish even though I've met some amazing people who have created such amazing opportunities, I wish I was just here. I wish I didn't have to leave. I wish things worked out, you know. Because I feel the Iranianness in me, like the creativity in me, I know it's from my country.
Yes.
I write poems, but my soul really wants to write in Farsi. But I don't know how to write in classic Farsi poetry because I wasn't here. I didn't learn. I could teach myself, but that would take time. And I wish it flowed within me. But all that flows within me is English words.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And how to write. When I write a poem, I write it in English, but the heaviness of my feelings can only be understood by Farsi words. Because I feel like the dictionary of the West is not enough for the heaviness of my heart.
Okay. Wow.
That's, you know, like I always say this. I say the Middle East has such powerful words. When we say I love you, the heaviness of it is not compared. Yeah. I love you. Oh, I love you. I hate you. I love you and I hate you means the same thing in English to me.
Yes, it's very
because
direct
it's so much. But in the Middle East, words are so heavy. Like we have this saying that says, "I'm going to give you my liver," but it literally means I love you.
Literally.
But when you say English, like what? But we really put gravity in our words, you know.
Yes.
And I'm always looking for something because I haven't learned, you know, traditional Farsi writing and poetry. I'm always looking for words in English to understand me. But at the end of the day, only Farsi words can sometimes understand me. So I have to tell myself that, okay, you've been taken from this place and you've been placed on, but it's your job. I even went to Farsi school in the UK, but it's up to me. Like I can write and read, but it's up to me to go after the traditional ways. It's up to me to create work and talk to people and write and read books in Farsi. It's up to me to do that. No one can, even not my life, not the way my life has been panned out, not, you know, I don't know, like there's so many aspects of my life that can have a say in my future, but it's really up to me what I want to do. Like if I say I want to learn traditional Farsi, like I have to go learn it. I can't start blaming my childhood and my timeline.
Yes, no one is going to do it for you. You have to go and learn and read. Yeah,
100%. But I feel like being in that third culture has prevented me from really connecting with the heaviness of my own culture, the gravity that my culture holds.
That has done negative things kind of on your Iranian.
Yeah, like the Western culture hasn't allowed me to connect more with my Iranian culture, because I really love it to the point where like I would die for it. So I really need to, you know, push myself to go after it more, because this is how my life has been planned out, but it's genuinely up to me to go after it and chase it more.
Of course.
Like me being here just shows that I'm going after it because, you know, I love it. And I'm not going to allow 15 years of Western influence to take me away from my home, if that makes sense.
15 years on the whole, whole life, it's nothing. You still have like, I don't know how many years, you know, so that's nothing.
But hopefully one day I'll come to my land and I'll stay in my land.
Yes, you will. Inshallah, you will. Don't worry. But yes, it's the end of the life, but I wanted to say thank you so much for answering the questions and being so transparent. Thank you so much. I'll post it and I'll send it to you directly.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Sahar.
Thank you. Hope you're having an amazing time in Casablanca. Are you with your family?
Yes, with my family.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing.
Enjoy with your family, and we need to meet in London.
100%. When you get back, you let me know. 100%.
I promise. Yes, I will.
Have an amazing time, my love.
Thank you so much for the live. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Bye.